It's 7:46 a.m., the 27th of October 2025. In the South China Sea, near the contested Scarborough Shoal, the destroyer USS Higgins, DDG-76, slices through calm gray water. Then an alert. Multiple contacts, bearing 170, closing fast. Alarms wail. Boots pound the deck as sailors rush to battle stations. The radar glows with 3 sharp returns, a Chinese Type 52D destroyer and 2 Type 54 Amperes frigates, forming a wedge and pressing in. On the bridge, tension hums in the air. Maintain course, the captain orders. Freedom of navigation, no deviation. Outside, the sea churns with power. The Chinese ships keep tightening the gap 400 meters, maybe less. Their hull numbers gleam in the morning haze. The radio crackles with warnings in Mandarin and English, both sides claiming the same water. Every second stretches, no shots fired, just raw nerve, cold precision, and the uneasy silence before the next move. This sea isn't just blue on a map, it's a living artery. The South China Sea moves fuel to power plants, chips to factories, grain to ports. When the lane near Scarborough Shoal clogs, prices spike, insurance jumps, and shelves back home feel it. That's why the USS Higgins, DDG-76, is here on a planned freedom of navigation operation to show that international waters stay open, not claimed by whoever sails the biggest hull. Beijing answers with presence and pressure. A Type 52D destroyer and 2 Type 54 Amperes frigates shadow the American ship, broadcasting warnings in Mandarin and English. Their message: turn away, you're in Chinese waters. Washington's reply: lawful transit, pre-planned, professional, neither side fires. On board Higgins, the rules are simple and hard. No provocation, no panic, no surprises. Helm holds course by the book. The Aegis team watches every blip. Lookouts call bearings until their voices go hoarse. The risk isn't just missiles, it's metal. At a few hundred meters, a wrong wake can shove ships together. A scrape becomes a crisis. A crisis becomes a chain reaction that markets and families feel. Allies are watching. Philippines, Japan, Australia, India. Manila counts on visible resolve near the shoal. Tokyo and Canberra look for steady hands. New Delhi reads how far Washington will go to keep lanes free. If the US blinks, confidence dips. If China yields, its narrative cracks. Pride and policy are lashed to the same mast. Right now, if you stood on that bridge with the spray in your face, what would you do? Tap 1 to hold course with Higgins, or 9 to turn away before a close pass becomes a collision. In this standoff, even silence speaks, and the world is listening. 7:58 a.m. The distance tightens to less than 300 meters. The sea boils between gray hulls, and crew on both sides can see each other without binoculars now. The USS Higgins holds her steady line north by east. The Chinese destroyer slides closer, cutting a shallow arc, an unmistakable intimidation move. Contact at 285 closing. They're crossing our bow. On the bridge, tension hums like current through steel. Maintain bearing, record everything, the captain orders. His voice is calm, but every syllable cuts the air. Cameras roll, sensors track, every sound logged for the record. A warning bursts over loudspeakers. Unidentified US warship, you are entering Chinese waters. Leave immediately. The reply comes back over VHF measured, firm, unmistakably American. This is United States Navy warship conducting lawful transit under international law. We will continue our operations. The standoff turns into choreography. Both ships make deliberate micro-adjustments, testing each other's nerve. The Aegis combat system hums quietly, reading electromagnetic signatures and threat codes. Then static. Chinese fire control radar flickers on, then off again. They're painting us, an operator mutters from Combat Information Center. Copy. Passive mode only. No counterlock. The captain replies. The room feels colder. Every sailor knows what that flicker means. One slip and both sides will spin up missiles before the order can be canceled. Outside, wind cuts across the deck. The Chinese Type 52D now looms within 250 meters, its hull number visible even through the spray. Guns remain silent, but their barrels trace the Higgins movement like eyes following prey. The destroyer rocks slightly on the swells. Inside, sailors tighten their grips, eyes fixed on radar screens glowing green in the dim light. Someone whispers, "This is way too close." On the surface, it looks calm, two ships drifting side by side, gray against gray. Below that calm lies the reality, a duel of pride and precision, fought without a single shot. Across the Pacific, satellites beam every frame to command centers, where analysts lean closer, knowing what's at stake. In the South China Sea, one wrong maneuver isn't just a mistake, it's history in the making. 8:06 a.m. The two formations drift even closer. The USS Higgins holds her line, while the Chinese destroyer slides to starboard, boxing her in with the two frigates fanning wide like wings. The ocean feels smaller now, just a few football fields of churning water between $600 million worth of warships. Inside combat, air tastes metallic. Every console glows. The crew tracks range and bearing in silence. 250 meters, no change, a voice reports. "Keep cameras rolling," the captain says. "If they push, we stay predictable. Predictability is safety." Outside, the Chinese ship blasts another warning. Louder, sharper, closer. Its bridge windows gleam. Through binoculars, sailors can see the crew across the way shouting into radios, gesturing hard toward Higgins' bow. "They're trying to make us flinch," one petty officer mutters. The sea swells higher. The ships roll, almost side by side now. Then, movement. The Type 52D tilts slightly toward the Higgins course, slicing closer by degrees. Sensors scream proximity alarms. "Collision risk," the navigator shouts. The captain's answer is immediate. "Helm, 5 degrees starboard. Keep our bow forward." The Chinese frigates adjust too, shadowing the turn, mirroring every motion. It's not random, it's message for message, nerve for nerve. A single wave slams between the hulls, white spray bursting over both decks. Sailors grab rails. The air fills with the roar of engines and the sound of raw power holding itself back. From the sky, drones record every angle. From command centers, officers watch the feeds frame by frame. The question now isn't who's stronger, it's who breaks first. Even one flare fired, one gun elevated too high, could start a chain reaction no one meant to begin. Inside the CIC, the XO leans close. "Sir, we're riding a knife edge." The captain nods once. "Then let's not be the first to bleed." As the hulls pass within 200 meters, sailors brace for impact that never comes. Both ships thunder past each other, engines roaring, wakes slamming against steel. The radio goes silent for 3 long seconds. Then, static. If you think Higgins should have held her line no matter what, tap 1. If you think backing off was the wiser move, tap 9. Because in this sea, sometimes restraint is the boldest act of all. 8:14 a.m. For a brief moment, it feels like the tension finally breaks. The USS Higgins steadies her course, leaving the gray silhouettes astern. Radios buzz with calm reports. Then, a sudden alarm cuts through the quiet. Unknown aerial contact. Bearing 190, altitude low, closing fast. Instantly, the Combat Information Center snaps back to full alert. A single radar blip races in from the south, too small for a jet, too fast for a bird. "Possible drone," the tactical officer says. "Speed 2, 50 knots, range closing. Visual confirm." The captain orders. Moments later, a lookout shouts, "Small UAV unmarked, low and fast." Through the bridge windows, sailors catch at a dark speck skimming the waves toward them. The Phalanx CIWS rotates automatically, barrels humming, but there's no clearance to fire. "Hands off weapons," the captain warns. "We stay non-kinetic." The drone streaks overhead, barely 50 meters up. It buzzes, spits smoke, then disappears into haze. Across the horizon, the Chinese destroyer and its escorts tilt antennas skyward, tracking the same object. For a heartbeat, both navies share the same silence, united by uncertainty. Then consoles flare. Electronic interference detected, unknown source. An operator reports. Static floods comms. Displays flicker, then recover. The GPS drifts slightly before stabilizing. On the Chinese side, formations tighten. A frigate surges ahead. The drone never returns, but its echo lingers in sensors and in the minds of every sailor watching the radar. Whatever that craft was, it didn't just buzz a ship. It hijacked the standoff, turning a duel of nerves into a new kind of threat. Now, neither side knows who's really controlling the game. 8:21 a.m. The radar picture is chaos. Tracks flicker and overlap, echoes doubling back like the sea itself has turned against them. Inside the USS Higgins, the hum of engines mixes with short, tense voices. Multiple returns, bearing 185 to 195, one operator calls. Can't confirm electronic ghosting. They're fighting the radar, chasing what's real through a storm of noise. Outside, sunlight glints on the gray water, thin and unreal. Combat report. No missile launch detected yet. The captain's tone hardens. Then we stay cold. Across the water, the Chinese destroyer drifts across their bow again, closer than ever. Every sensor and antenna seems locked on the Higgins. Helm, steady. Aegis, verify visual. Copy, sir. The image sharpens the Type 50. 2D, slicing through swells just 200 meters away. Its gun turret turning slowly. Gun tracking motion detected. Not a lock yet. Then we don't flinch. The CIWS hums softly, following the movement. Metal whispers under pressure. The sound of control fighting instinct. Then a sharp tone splits the air radar illumination. Every alarm on the bridge howls. They're painting us again. Fingers hover over safeties. One wrong reflex could spark a war. Hold fire, the captain commands. Passive mode. We're not starting this. Seconds crawl. The ship vibrates against the waves. Mugs rattle. Someone mutters a quiet count under their breath. In combat, the radar flickers, then clears. The interference fades like a breath leaving the room. The Chinese destroyer steadies, turns, and slides back into formation. No one cheers. Only the sea answers, slapping against steel, steady, heavy, alive. The captain exhales slowly. That was 1 second from history. The XO nods. And luck was on our side. Across the horizon, the Chinese ships keep a parallel course. A lone helicopter buzzes past and disappears into the haze. Above, drones hover like silent witnesses, recording every angle. The standoff ends not with gunfire, but with a look that says everything. If you think holding fire was the right call, tap 1. If you believe returning lock for lock showed true strength, tap 9. Because in this kind of war, sometimes survival isn't victory, it's defiance. 9:02 a.m. The sea is calm again, but no one on board feels peace. The USS Higgins moves north at cruising speed, gray wake trailing like a scar across the South China Sea. On the surface, nothing has changed, but every sailor knows the game has shifted. In the command center, messages stream in from the fleet. 7th Fleet Command confirms all systems nominal, mission accomplished. Across the Pacific, in Washington, analysts watch replayed footage frame by frame. In Beijing, officials release statements claiming the intruder was driven away. The truth lies somewhere in the quiet between those words. For the crew, silence is victory. They went to the edge and didn't fall. Yet that restraint, what some call discipline, feels like a gamble. The captain walks the bridge, looking out across the same waters that nearly ignited a global storm. Freedom of navigation, he murmurs, comes with a price. Thousands of miles away, the headlines roll out. Some call it a success of professionalism. Others, a sign of caution bordering on weakness. But for the nations watching Philippines, Japan, Australia, India, it's proof the US still stands the line. The question is, for how long? China's ships remain nearby, watching through binoculars, their presence a quiet reminder that the contest never ends. This wasn't a battle of weapons, but of nerves, pride, and message control, a war of inches fought with radio calls and restraint. That morning, near Scarborough Shoal, no one fired a shot. Yet every second carried the weight of two empires and a question older than the ocean itself. What does it really mean to win? If you believe holding the line without firing showed true strength, tap 1. If you think power should answer pressure with power, tap 9. Your choice says which future you believe this ocean is sailing toward. As the sun climbs higher, the USS Higgins fades into the horizon, her wake closing behind her like a wound that's healed but not forgotten. The South China Sea looks calm again, but calm, out here, never lasts for long. It's 6:30 local time, the 17th of October 2025. In the narrow waters of the Taiwan Strait, USS Higgins and HMS Richmond cut through gray morning haze. Radar screens flicker multiple contacts, closing fast from the west. Air tracks, bearing 270. The call snaps across the bridge. Alarms echo through steel corridors. Sailors sprint to stations, sealing hatches. Outside, low clouds hide shadows moving fast. People's Liberation Army patrol aircraft and a Type 52D destroyer matching every turn. The sea feels tense, electric. One wrong move and the calm strait could ignite in seconds. Both ships hold their line, steady but alert. The mission is routine on paper, a freedom of navigation transit, nothing more. But everyone aboard knows it's a message written in steel. The strait is international water, not a private gate. The Chinese ship's loudspeakers crackle in Mandarin, demanding they turn away. The British frigate responds coolly on open channel. We are operating in accordance with international law. For a moment, silence, only the sound of waves and distant jet engines. The Taiwan Strait just 80 miles wide, yet every mile is charged with history and pride. Merchant ships move through these waters every day, carrying fuel, food, and microchips that power the world's phones, cars, and factories. USS Higgins and HMS Richmond sail here to keep that route open. Their mission sounds simple: uphold freedom of navigation. But in this narrow stretch of sea, every turn of the rudder can send a message or trigger a confrontation that echoes far beyond Asia. On radar, the Chinese Type 52D destroyer mirrors their path, holding a steady distance of 5 nautical miles. Above, a KQ-200 patrol aircraft circles like a hawk, its sensors sweeping every movement. Voices on the bridge stay measured, professional, but tension sits heavy in the air. To the crews, this isn't a drill, it's a test of resolve, a silent conversation written in the language of angles, distance, and nerve. Inside the CIC, officers track each ping and bearing. If they close in, we'll adjust course, but we won't yield, the captain says evenly, eyes fixed on the scope. He knows cameras on deck are streaming live, watched by thousands back home. Each move might become the next headline or the next spark. Outside, the sea looks calm, but beneath that calm, two nations measure each other's will. The air hums with quiet defiance. A seaman wipes sweat from his brow, never looking away from the screen. The British frigate holds steady beside Higgins, a reminder that the US is not alone. Across the strait, the Chinese destroyer's guns stay trained but silent, yet one flicker, one order could change everything. Because here, freedom of the seas isn't an idea, it's a test lived moment by moment. If you were standing on that bridge right now, would you hold course or turn away? Press 1 to stand firm, 9 if you'd pull back. 7:10 local time. The first warning hits the bridge. New contact, low altitude, closing fast. The sound of the radar alarm cuts through the air. The crew snaps into motion. The Chinese KQ-200 patrol aircraft has dropped altitude, slicing across the formation at less than 500 feet. On the deck of USS Higgins, sailors brace against the shockwave as the plane roars overhead. A heartbeat later, the British frigate HMS Richmond reports surface echoes 2 fast boats approaching from the west, weaving through merchant lanes. Condition 1, all stations. The red lights flood the corridors. Doors seal, engines hum at full power. The Type 52D destroyer to the west shifts formation, edging closer, bow cutting through the wake of the US ship. Its gun turret begins to track, slowly but deliberately. The American Combat Systems officer watches the targeting radar spike on his console. The Higgins commander raises the radio handset. "Plan Navy vessel, this is USS Higgins. You are operating dangerously close. Maintain safe distance." Silence for a beat, then a cold voice replies in English. U.S. vessel, you are entering Chinese waters. Leave immediately. The message hangs in the air, as if daring them to answer. HMS Richmond cuts in firmly. Negative. We are conducting lawful transit in international waters. Outside, waves slap against steel. The two sides now move barely 4 miles apart. Sensors track everything: heat, radar, movement, even comms chatter. The U.S. ship's crew readies the SM-2 launchers but keeps the safeties on. The British frigate brings its Sea Scepter battery online, covering the northern arc. For now, the defense is silent but poised. Then comes the next escalation. The KQ-200 releases sonar buoys behind the American ships, a thin trail floating like breadcrumbs. It's not an attack, but it's a challenge, marking the U.S. position for every Chinese ship within range. The response from Higgins is measured. The ship fires a long sonar ping deep and resonant across the strait. The tone rolls through the water, unmistakable. "We see you!" For several long minutes, both sides hold their course. Engines roar, sensors hum, and the horizon trembles with restraint. One wrong command, one nervous twitch, and this standoff could explode into something no one can control. 7:28 local time. The calm begins to crack. The Chinese destroyer suddenly veers 10 degrees starboard, cutting closer to Higgins' path. Alarms trigger again. Collision alert. The American helmsman adjusts course 2 degrees, just enough to avoid impact, but not enough to signal retreat. The two steel giants now move less than 2 miles apart, throwing white spray between them. Every crew member can see the red flag flying from the other ship's mast. Above them, the KQ-200 banks hard, releasing metallic chaff that glitters like silver rain before falling into the sea. It's a taunt, a reminder that the sky belongs to whoever dares to hold it. Higgins responds by launching a drone of its own, an MQ-8 fire scout that hums into the gray clouds to keep an eye above. The tactical feed shows the Chinese ship powering up its deck guns. The tension is now physical, vibrating through the hull, every bolt alive with pressure. Inside the Combat Information Center, voices overlap. Range, 3,800 yards. Bearing steady. The captain keeps his tone calm, eyes never leaving the screen. Maintain course. Do not provoke, but do not yield. The British frigate slides forward on the flank, its Sea Scepter launchers tracking the sky. The sound of the ocean is gone now, replaced by the thrum of engines and heartbeats pounding in sync. A sudden flash splits the horizon, not a missile, but a flare from the Chinese destroyer, slicing through the clouds like a warning shot. The crew of Higgins barely flinches. "Copy that. Visual flare. No return fire," the captain orders. He knows this isn't just tactics, it's psychological warfare. The goal is to make the other side blink first, to prove who commands the sea. Minutes stretch like hours. Sweat beads on foreheads. Fingers hover over triggers. On the bridge, the crew barely breathes as both ships mirror each other's movements. The strait feels smaller, the silence heavier, like the ocean itself is waiting for someone to break it. If you think Higgins should stand firm until the last warning, press 1. If you think they should de-escalate before it's too late, press 9. Your call decides who keeps control of the strait. 7:45 local time. Just when it seems the standoff might cool, a new signal appears low, fast, erratic. The radar officer frowns. Multiple contacts, bearing 310. Speed too slow for jets, too fast for boats. The captain leans in. The shapes flicker, then multiply. "Drones," he mutters. "Surface swarm." On deck, the horizon shimmers tiny wakes racing toward the formation. Each craft is barely the size of a jet ski. Their radar signatures smaller than birds. The Chinese destroyer turns away, clearing their path. The truth hits fast. It's not attacking, it's guiding the drones in. Higgins, possible unmanned surface vehicles inbound. The British officer calls. Estimate 20 plus. The US commander reacts instantly. Deploy Nixie decoys. Activate CIWS. The ship's hum deepens as defenses come alive. On the monitors, white blips close in hundreds of meters per second. The first wave hits radar range, flooding screens with static. Higgins fires the MAC-38 autocannon, bursts of orange tearing across gray seas. One drone shatters, another dives and vanishes. HMS Richmond joins in, its 30mm guns snapping precise bursts. Every second feels like a coin flip between order and chaos. "Speed increasing!" a sailor shouts. The swarm splits, half veering toward Richmond, half toward Higgins. The bridge shakes from gunfire. Seawater sprays across the deck. Through the drone feed, the targets appear small, fast, packed with explosives. A flash one detonates early, triggering a chain of white plumes. The blast rocks both ships, but the line holds. Smoke drifts low across the waves, curling between the Allied vessels. Silence. The crew knows what it means. The next wave will be faster, smarter, and closer. The standoff has become a hunt, and the hunters are now machines. 7:58 local time. Smoke still hangs low when the next wave appears bigger, faster, and perfectly coordinated. The radar screen lights up with a dozen new contacts, all closing in tight formation. "Incoming swarm, bearing 305!" The captain's voice cuts through the chaos. "All stations engage at will!" The ship roars to life. Higgins unleashes its CIWS, the closed-in weapon system spitting fire at 4,500 rounds per minute. Tracers streak across the sea, carving orange arcs through the smoke. 1, 2, 3 drones explode, spray and shrapnel raining down over the bow. But more keep coming, zigzagging through the debris like mechanical predators hunting blood. HMS Richmond joins the fight, its Sea Scepter missiles firing in clean vertical bursts. Each launch shakes the air, leaving trails of smoke that twist above the waves. Splash! 3 confirmed. A voice shouts from the CIC. Still, 5 contacts remain. The British frigate banks slightly, giving Higgins a clear line of fire. The two ships move in perfect rhythm. One guards the air, the other holds the sea. A rogue wave slams the hull, rocking the deck. Through the haze, one drone slips low, skimming the surface at breakneck speed. "Brace for impact!" someone yells. The CIWS swivels, locks, and fires a final burst. The drone erupts in a blinding flash metal fragments, showering the water. The shockwave rolls across the deck, shaking loose panels, filling the air with salt and smoke. For a heartbeat, silence, then muffled cheers echo from both crews. The last echoes of gunfire fade, radar clears, and the sea returns to uneasy calm. The crew exhales, faces pale but unbroken. They've held the line, but everyone knows this is just a pause, not peace. The captain lowers his headset. "Maintain readiness. If another wave comes, we meet it head-on." Beside him, the British officer nods slowly. The two ships steady themselves in formation, their flags still flying defiantly in the wind. If you think the Allied ships proved their resolve today, press 1. If you believe this is only the first round of something far greater, press 9 and tell us which side you'd stand with. 8:25 local time. The strait lies quiet again, too quiet. The sea that roared with gunfire minutes ago now reflects the pale morning Sunday. Higgins and Richmond drift side by side, smoke trailing faintly from their decks. Crewmen check damage, sweep debris, and count breaths. No one speaks of victory. They all know this was a warning, not an end. Reports start flowing in. The swarm drones were remotely launched from China's coast, likely from hidden barges disguised as fishing boats. Analysts aboard the ships whisper the same thought. This was a test. A probe to measure Allied reaction time, accuracy, and nerve. And now, somewhere across the water, someone has that data and is already planning the next move. In the operations room, the captain sends his final report. Engagement complete. No casualties. Area secured. The words sound calm, but his eyes stay on the map, tracing the next route south toward the South China Sea. Everyone knows what's next. This was the rehearsal, not the show. A message written in noise and fire, meant to be seen by the world. As the sun climbs higher, both ships resume their course. Their mission, freedom of navigation, remains the same, but its weight feels heavier now. The price of that freedom is counted in drones, data, and sleepless eyes. Across the strait, Chinese patrols continue their shadow dance, never too close, never too far. The silence feels like a drawn breath waiting to break. For the sailors who fought through the morning, this day will never fade. They've seen how fragile peace truly is, how war hides just a heartbeat away. The calm ocean stretches wide, but every ripple feels like a question. If you think this confrontation will deter future aggression, press 1. If you believe it's only the start of something far greater, press 9. And tell us in the comments what you think happens next. The horizon clears, the ships push forward, and the sea waits quiet, watching and far from calm.